We're doing an interview.
You were at the diversity of your children affected your relationships, your interpersonal relationships with your existing family members.
Oh yeah.
I had to sleep with
More on that.
Yeah.
Go on.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. He just wasn't a fan, and yeah. And
We're a fan of you too, Papa.
I didn't have like a lot of experience with like having friends or family that were anything other than Italian, so it was like hard. But then he got over it. So
Did it take the child? Because I know it took me personally, it took my extended family until my daughter was about 3 years old to accept that she was half Hispanic.
So my mom just got over it, and I don't talk to my dad anymore. So that was like, I'm not gonna, like deal with. I feel like it's ignorance a little bit, and like not willing to like change, and that's his problem. No, not mine.
And the children shouldn't have to suffer.
Yeah, they've never met him.
Yeah.
So,
I commend you. It's
Yeah.
very difficult
Yeah.
to leave a part of you
right,
behind.
right, yeah. What else?
I want to know what else.
Oh, I've been part of the family for 11 years.
Yes, I want to
11
know.
years.
Like, how did you end up?
We've been married for 6 years.
How did you decide on the children's name?
Oh, okay. So Lorenzo.
When's his birthday?
Okay, Lorenzo. Okay, so we got married in 2015. We had Lorenzo 2 years later in 2017. We picked his name. We wanted all names that were Spanish and Italian. So we took both. So I just looked at all the L names because I like the L name in cursive, like the letter. So it's Lorenzo Eli Cabrera and Liliana Elizabeth Cabrera, and her middle name is after my grandma.
You were very close to her.
Yeah, really close. Yeah. She died a few years ago.
Was that just from natural causes?
Yeah, she had a platelet deficiency.
Okay.
So I don't know if.
I'm not familiar.
Okay, so like.
I imagine it's like a blood issue.
So like your platelets fight off your the bad cells that come in. So like you need platelets to like fight off infections or like create new blood. I mean, it goes more in depth obviously, but like she died at the age of 91. She was born in 1920. She was all Italian, and she was divorced.
That's unheard of in those times.
I know, right? Yeah, she like despised men, like hated them. I was like, just go on a date. Like it would probably be enjoyable. She's like, no. So anyway, she died on hospice at home. But yeah, she had basically because her body wasn't making enough platelets, she like died of like internal bleeding basically, which is super sad. And yeah, so Lorenzo and Liliana, they're born 17 months apart, both C-section. So like what you were saying earlier kind of happened with Lorenzo. So I went to be induced, but then like I never, like nothing happened. So then they broke my water and his heart rate was going down. So they broke my water at like 8:30 and I had him by like 10:30. It was like we had to do C-section. And then Lily, I went in to have a C-section with her, and
Hi, baby.
and she like I never had any issues being pregnant with either of them, and they like broke a ligament between my uterus and my cervix. It's called the broad ligament. So I was like internally bleeding. It's a whole thing, but they were both fine. I'm fine. We're good. What else? Oh, what would I want them to know?
What would you want them to know? Your great-grandchildren, that like you tried your best. What are your expectations for them? What do you tell them when they're faced with the discomfort that you had to go through? In your lifetime, you've lived your life to the fullest without any. Obviously, you've done what you wanted to do.
Right.
And you want them to be that way.
Yeah. I guess like to be nice. and I know that's like really hard. It's even hard like for me, but like try to be like nice as much as you can. Just because it'll like get you far in life. I think. Yeah, it's hard. I don't know. I lack a filter with my mouth. So like I hope that they don't get that, but I think that they might. I don't know.
There are other positive qualities.
Yeah.
Because I have that problem too.
Yeah.
I don't make friends very easy. That's why I get along with more so older people.
Yeah.
Because they've experienced life and they know I don't mean any harm.
Right.
Do you have that same issue?
Yeah. I'm like, I don't mean anything. I'm like, oh gosh, I didn't mean to say that, or like, I don't know.
Yeah. So I learned to be more honest, and if I'm like, oh, that to learn to read social cues. I don't know.
Right.
And I'm not apologizing more so, but like being more considerate of their feelings. Like,
Right.
I said what I said, but how do you feel about it? Now let's deal with the feelings I've put on you.
Yeah, definitely.
But I'm not gonna apologize for what I said.
Yeah. No, I know it's so hard. But what else?
I want to know, like, what are your plans for the future?
Plans for the future. Plans for the future. I don't know. Just, I think get past COVID for sure. My job, I'm really supposed to like go out in the field and like go to nursing homes and assisted livings and people's houses. Like I haven't done that for a year, and like it's kind of been like no socialization. I used to work at a hospital for years, like 6 years, and I stopped doing that because of COVID. And like I really enjoyed that a lot.
What was one of the saddest moments in your life that you remember? Like it was just really, really sad.
Probably when my grandma died.
And
That was really sad.
Did she leave behind a lot of like life lessons for you?
Yeah. She said a lot of funny things. Like when my mom was growing up, she was always like really strict with her. Like don't stay over a boy's house, or like don't like I don't know, like drive a car without a license or things like that. And then like when she was like getting closer to dying, she would say like, live life to the fullest. You know what I mean? So like, I don't know, I guess when you get older, you just don't care as much, or like, I don't know. She was funny. She was really funny. Oh, solitaire. I always played solitaire. She taught me how to make like Italian pizzelles, which is like an Italian cookie. I'll always take that. That was always good.
Did it look like biscottis?
I don't know what a biscotti is, but it's really thin.
Yeah. Okay.
And they look like a snowflake.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, they're really good. It's very sugary. Yeah. Oh, and to always like have cookie and coffee at night. She loved that so much. I think a lot of like older people like that.
That's where you get that from.
Yeah, she loves that. Yeah. But anyway, I guess that was like the saddest time. Yeah.
Yeah, because we also want to carry on that other generation of advice. And then you said your mother's coming, and you sound like you have a really close relationship with her.
Yeah.
What is something that she did to like formulate you?
She always said like her motto is like to be the change. So like even if like she doesn't see a way for something, she's like it can happen.
I can see how you integrated it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because this is a lot of the qualities that you're saying are still similar to this family.
Yeah, so that's cool.
And
But,
about when did you start feeling like you were part of the family? Like you.
right away.
I mean, like you didn't feel uneasy.
Oh, I don't know. That might have never. I don't know. It depends like who I'm around. Like if it's me and Charlie, like I feel like, very welcomed. But everyone's different.
Of course.
Yeah.
How are you going to deal with like, say your children overhear someone speaking negatively about one of the other of their races? How do you handle that? I know it's depending on what they say, but do you tell them to take the high road or just avoid that person? Like, what would you advise them to do?
Like for example, what do you mean?
Like they overhear that. Let's see. What's something that I've been
Like
told?
about race?
Like about
Oh,
race.
okay.
Yeah, because we have a lot of biracial children,
Yeah.
triracial.
Yeah.
In this generation in particular.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but it just is.
Right. I mean, I think what the biggest thing is like, it's a big melting pot. Like even if someone says that they are something, they really don't even know. Like, I grew up saying I would, 25% even American. Like, I might not even be that, you know what I mean? So, I think everyone just needs to listen about that, you know what I mean? And, like, just, like, move on, and not, like, play into it as much,
Just
I know,
avoid it.
not avoid it, but, like, just be like, oh, well, thanks for sharing that, and, like, just keep on going. Because there's no real point to, like, put effort into that when it's just a negative. So,
Yeah, because like my daughter will ask, like, she's not white enough to be white, but she's not brown enough to be Mexican by like the normal standard. But to me, she looks Hispanic, but it's a little weird for her already. And she'll say like, oh, I want to be brown like you, and she says stuff like that to me. And she'll ask me, why are you brown and I'm not? And she thinks that she's not pretty because she's not brown. Or she'll say if I'm not there and she's at her grandparents' house, she might overhear something negatively like, oh, well, her mother tried to trap her father. She might hear things like that.
Oh, yeah.
And so I have to go in and kind of educate my daughter at the age of 4. Like,
right.
Not really like that's their opinion and that's what they think, but this is the reality of your situation, and piece it to a 4-year-old level.
Yeah.
And that's been really interesting.
That's hard.
It is,
hard.
but it can be done.
Yeah.
It's just like you said, ignorance, and everyone is capable of being educated.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone is, and they can live with that. Like you said, that's their choice, but they will listen to me and they're going to hear my piece.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Well,
I
my
think,
child, you can't change people, but
Right.
you can teach them.
yeah. And you are who you are. I mean, you can't change, like, if you are half Mexican or if if you're half black or whatever, you are who you are. Like,
You can't.
that's
undo
what
it.
like I don't understand about this whole thing. Like, what is there to say? It is what it is. You know what I mean?
You're treated well. The children are so healthy. Just
Right.
like I was telling your sister-in-law.
Yeah.
I'm like, you can see clearly their personalities are so well shaped because
Yeah.
they're so loved enough to
Right.
the point where they're comfortable
Yeah.
to be themselves.
Oh, especially this one.
Yes, loved,
hilarious.
beloved. Look at, I can tell. Look at her, how she eats her food with such confidence. This is her chair. This is her. Even the dogs won't touch her.
I know.
Look at her.
She's like very sassy.
She reminds me of my little girl too. Oh, any little
Yeah.
girl I see, I'm just like, oh,
Yeah.
my baby.
So she looks a lot more like my husband, I think. Do you think that, Charlie? She looks more like Jose, right? Yeah. And then Lorenzo looks a little bit more like me. Like his hair is like more like mine. She just is more Jose. Like she has like the bags under her eyes like him. Everyone's like, oh, does she have black eye? I'm like, no, that's just how she is.
Yeah, learning more about our background, and it kind of helped me come to terms with understanding, like, okay, so we're descended from like the Yukon Apache tribe, and we have these characteristics that are considered not contemporarily beautiful, but they're functional. So like if my daughter would say like, why do you look different? She asks me a lot, why do you look like this and I don't? So I'll say, oh, well, I have this bridge of my nose because where we're from, this land is very dusty and aerated, and it helps me breathe through this type of environment. And she'll be like, oh,
Wow.
So it becomes more functional.
What an answer.
You become more appreciative, and you speak to the little people like they're little people.
Yeah.
And they absorb it like little sponges.
Yeah.
And she'll remember, and she'll go to school and when someone tells her something or says something to someone else, she'll go and correct that person about that child. No, we don't talk to our friends like that.
Right, yeah.
It's just so beautiful, the children. They're so
Now
smart.
this one,
So smart.
yeah, he is like a firecracker. He has he's like jumping on things. He went on Tower of Terror twice over the weekend.
Oh,
He
my
like
heart.
is so brave. Like literally, I feel like if I told him like, "Hey, jump out of the car," he would do it. Like he wouldn't even think about it. He would just do it. So I have to be really careful with him. And then she's starting to get a little bit more, but she has a little. I feel like she has something in her. Have you ever seen that movie Inside Out? Okay, that where the fear guy. I think she has a little bit of that. But he has none. No fear at all. So I don't know what he's gonna bring when he's older, but oh my. I could totally see him as like a football player or like
Stock market surgeon.
right.
yeah, surgery.
Yeah.
He'd be like, "Oh, there's blood. Just hand me."
Yeah, like no, like here.
Anesthesiologist.
Oh, the throw up. Neither of them can do throw up.
Oh.
Do you hear that a lot from other kids?
The other kids that none of them can throw up.
No, they don't. If they see throw up, they'll throw up.
My brother.
Oh, your brother. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Some are like that. I don't know. They both.
That's
do
why
that.
he didn't chose not to go medical. He decided to go the engineering route. So he didn't
Oh,
have to
good
do
for
it
him.
with the stuff. We'd make fun of him. If someone would throw up, we'd be like, "Don't go over there." He'd be like, "Why?"
Hey, you're not done.
We'd be like in a collision.
Lily, you're not done.
Anything else?
Here.
No, I just wanted to know about your health, your ideas.
Oh, my health.
Yeah, your health, your values, your experience with having children, your relationship with your family. You know what you appreciate about others, how you've become such a wonderful
Follow
person,
that.
how you've become a part of this wonderful family. You know, things you appreciate about your husband that we could attribute to the Cabrera Bakery and their
Yeah.
descendants. And
He's funny. He's a funny guy.
really funny.
Yeah, he's funny.
Here.
He's a funny guy.
I hear he's genteel, he's generous, much
Yeah.
like his father.
He does have a little. I think because he's like the third kid, he has a little. What would you say about Jose? What would you say about him?
He's weird.
Well, he's
He's
the third
different.
kid. He's different.
He's different.
He's not as like Chach and Mo. I don't know. I feel like they. I don't know. They're just a lot different than Jose. Like Jose, he'll like tell you like right to your face if he doesn't like something, and like he doesn't care about how you feel.
Okay,
Like-
that's what I'm feeding them.
The way I'm saying is like if he wants, how do I say, like if you're mad at him, he does not care, and he'll just like go
He's
play
indifferent.
PlayStation, and he won't even mind that you're upset with him. He won't try to like fix it with you or like anything. He wants you to come to him to be like, okay, like, you know, we're gonna. He's like, oh, I thought you were already over that. Like he just doesn't even. And then remember you guys left him one time, and they forgot he was there because he was like so quiet.
Oh.
We left him behind.
Huh?
We left him behind.
Yeah. Well, he wasn't really, you know.
My wife lost him a few times in the department store.
Yeah. But he was the third kid.
Was he
Yeah.
traumatized?
No, I don't think he was traumatized. I think he was just like quiet.
Oh,
They
okay.
always said like he wanted to play by himself.
Like, you know, like I said before, I don't take him to work with me
Oh, 'cause
because
you lose
I use
money.
money with him.
Oh, did you already interview him?
multiple times.
Oh, so yeah, so.
So,
On camera.
Oh,
over the
okay,
phone.
okay.
so anyway,
Hours.
any other kid would probably get pissed off because the dad would say that with him.
My
thinks
dad-
it's
He doesn't
a
even
joke.
care. Yeah, he thinks
My
it's
dad's
funny.
not proud of me.
Oh no,
I feel so
he is
sad.
nothing like that. He has so much self-esteem. He doesn't even care.
The love.
Yeah, he's like,
Love.
well, have you met his wife?
Not yet.
Okay, so
Yeah.
when you meet his wife, it's gonna all make sense.
Yeah.
He has so much like self-esteem. He like,
But it's
you
also,
think I don't
it's
give you
also
money,
a
whatever,
cultural
like-
thing. It's also a cultural thing. People with rich culture, Russians, Koreans, people who they love their
Eat
sons.
that.
Oh my goodness, you cannot tell them anything. They're like, my mom loves me. I'm great.
Right.
From
Right.
the moment they can see color,
yeah.
you are God's gift to earth.
See, but I think in this family the girls are favored.
For education, they're admired.
What do you
for-
think? Who do you
They're
think's
admired
favored?
for their pursuit. They're admired for different things. The women, the expectation for education in women is very high in this family. Yes, all the women are educated, driven, and they are forced to be reckoned with.
But like,
You got one more?
I think the girls in this family make the decisions.
They do.
Yeah, it's very like, and where I grew up, that was not how it was. The men made all the decisions. So that was really hard for me to like see like women in like such a position to like make decisions. But then I learned that they don't always make all the decisions, you know, because you're married or whatever. But
Predominantly, the women
Yeah.
are very respected and adored in,
Yeah.
in this family line.
yeah,
But yeah, but the when I say you have a boy and you just love those boys,
Yeah.
as the mother, and I just love that dynamic that
Yeah.
I'm finding. I'm learning to be a better person. I'm learning more about. I feel like a sense of purpose.
Right.
Like remember how I was describing my facial features?
Yeah.
I'm learning about myself in different ways and learning to appreciate other people.
Yeah.
Learning how to talk to other people, like the conversation about race. How do we love our children better? How do we treat people better? How do we bring up these tough conversations?
Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah, and it's great to be able to talk about that and seeing how you can choose to walk away and not deal with it, and
Yeah.
that's okay.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's not yours to deal with. It's not your feelings.
Yeah.
And I've never heard that before, and that's good.
It's hard. It's hard. I think that's hard, right?
But
To walk away from something.
it's easy.
See, maybe that's
I
where
do
Jose
it.
got
I
it.
do it all the time, and I try to tell her. You know, I try to give her a little bit of advice.
Yeah.
And, you know, if somebody has issues and they're complaining, let's just say somebody's complaining about me. I can either engage in it, become part of the problem, and make it explode, or I can turn the fuse off and walk away
Yeah.
and let them deal with the problem.
So I've definitely learned some more of
Yeah.
that, but it's hard for me. I have a little anger, which I need to not have, right?
You know,
Anger is
and getting back to what you were asking about the female or the male, to me, I always embrace like my daughter-in-laws, because if they have a son, it gives me another chance for our last name to keep growing and growing. To me, that's important. You know, I tell Mo all the time. I said, Mo, with you, it ended there. You know, because she changed her name. You know,
But there's
Jenny-
so many Cabreras.
No, I know.
Oh.
But from my branch,
Yeah,
my tree,
yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah.
it still keeps going.
Yeah.
Jessica,
Done.
3 girls.
They're
Done.
done. Yeah, they are.
You
done.
know,
Yeah.
We only have one Cabrera on my immediate family side. That's
One boy?
well, no, there's
Oh, that's
two.
not good.
There's two, but I think one of them
That's not good.
isn't gonna
I'll-
get married
I'll clean
for
it
a
up.
long time.
Okay, I'll clean it up in a minute.
Okay.
so you know, it's
So you favor boys. I didn't know that.
because they carry the names.
Oh, I didn't know
So
that.
I make it a point to, whenever I have a chance and we're alone, to always plant something in their head.
The boys.
The boys, like Daniel, when he was helping me the other day, I had him by myself there, and I'm like, Daniel, it's important that you learn how to do this stuff. Not what we're doing, but who you're doing it with.
Mm-hmm.
He stopped and thought about it. He's like, why? I said, because you're spending time and you're learning from your grandpa.
Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily mean we're fixing this. Like I tell you, we're bonding.
Right.
We're engaging. We're making memories, you know.
Right. Yeah. He's taught me a lot.
That's
Oh, I ordered a pegboard.
What's that?
Oh,
A pegboard
oh,
for the garage.
Okay.
from
But that's
Amazon.
the Cabreras.
From Amazon.
Amazon.
Did you buy 6? So anyway, you know, I learned a lot from my grandfather. I learned a lot from my dad, from
Just
my
wanna
brother.
borrow him.
I know.
Keep him
Yeah, he's the
forever.
best. Yeah. Let me go get this outside. Okay.